students. In my last video of atomic structure, we have discussed about anode ray experiment and cathode ray experiment. I hope you have watched it. In today's session, we will be talking about Thomson's atomic model and alpha ray scattering experiment. Okay. Now, first we will discuss this was the first atomic model which was introduced. Okay, now what are the main points included in Thomson's atomic model? The first one is atom is a sphere of positive charge. If I say consider here, this I take as sphere, it was a sphere of the positive charge, means the positive charge was distributed throughout in the atom. Okay, let me draw this was all positive sphere. Positive sphere was distributed throughout in the atom. It is a sphere of the positive charge. That is the first main point. The second point he said was the electrons are embedded in the positive charge, positive sphere. Electrons are embedded in the positive sphere. So this is the electron. The electron is embedded. Electron is embedded in the positive sphere. This was very much similar to watermelon. Okay, that in watermelon you have that red color spread out, that is the positive part. And in between you have the black color seeds. So black color seeds are nothing but electron. This was also called as plum pudding model. Like you have that pudding in which plum is there in between. So pudding is mainly that positive sphere, positive charge which is spread in the sphere, and the plum is the electron. Okay, one more important point about Thomson's atomic model was that atom is electrically neutral. It is electrically neutral, means the number of the electrons and the protons are same. This theory did not talk anything about the neutron, because neutrons were not discovered that time. It was still in 1800. That story is going on as of now. Okay, then this theory suffered a failure only after the alpha ray scattering experiment was performed by Rutherford. So what was the major failure? See, the failure in this Thomson's model was that the positive charge is spread out. The positive charge is spread out in the sphere. That was proved to be wrong. How was it proved wrong? It was proved wrong by alpha ray scattering experiment. That we have to discuss just now. So we are doing in sequence, children. First electron was discovered, that was by Thomson. Then the proton was discovered, that was by Goldstein. After that Thomson proposed the atomic model, that is Thomson's atomic model. But this was not talking anything about nucleus, that is the positive sphere which is there. So that was the major drawback. Now we will discuss alpha ray scattering experiment. Now let's see which theory caused the Thomson's model to fail. That was alpha ray scattering experiment performed by Rutherford. So what was this? There was this is the alpha ray scattering, means first he produced alpha ray. How did he produce alpha ray? There was a source taken. This was the source of alpha ray. He had taken radium. You can take any heavy metal which will emit alpha particles. So block of lead, inside that source was taken which was emitting alpha ray. Now what is alpha ray, children? Here we write down like this: alpha 42. This is the atomic number, this is the mass. It is quite heavy particle. It is actually, we say, 4 times the mass of proton. 4 times the mass of proton. It is very heavy particle. So that alpha ray, when it was moving, it was made to pass through a small slit so that it can move straight. Then when it was going further, it was made to hit gold foil, thin gold foil. So when it was hitting that metal foil, it was observed on the screen. This was a U-shaped screen he had taken, which was coated with zinc sulfide screen. In the previous cathode ray experiment also we have discussed, this is a phosphorescent material. If some radiations fall on it, it will start glowing. So when these alpha ray particles were hitting the gold foil, it was observed that most of them passed straight. Most of them, they were coming like this. Most of them passed straight. How many of them? 99.9% of them passed undeviated. That was his first observation. He said most of the alpha rays passed undeviated. They passed undeviated. How many also he specified? 99.9% passed undeviated. Then further he said few of these alpha rays, they got deviated at small angles. So here this was shown like this. They were hitting and getting deflected at small angles. Okay. Next, there were three major observations Rutherford had. The third major observation was very few of the alpha rays, they got deflected back in the same direction. They got deflected back in the same direction. When do you think this is possible? When they are hitting and then something is coming back in the same direction? When they must have hit something which is positive. Like when we throw a ball towards the wall, the ball goes, it hits that heavy wall and comes back. So what is the charge present on the alpha particle? Positive charge. So that positive charge on the alpha, when it is hitting the gold foil, there must be something positive within that atom on which the alpha rays are hitting. That is why they are coming back. Okay, so there were three major, so we can say very few of them also came back. 99.9% passed undeviated. Few of them got deflected at small angle. And very few of them came back in the same direction. Actually, this led to the three conclusions. What were the conclusions that we are discussing in the same itself? Most of them passed undeviated. That means there must be lot of empty space. Of course, later we will jot down all the postulates of Rutherford also, but just three major conclusions I am explaining here. There is lot of empty space. Lot of empty space in the atom according to Rutherford. That is why nothing is happening to them. Alpha ray particles are just moving without any deviation. Few of the alpha ray particles got deviated. That means there is something positive. The like charge particles repel. There must be some similar charge present in the atom, because when alpha rays are coming, it is hitting something positive, then only it is getting deflected at the small angle. Very few of them got deflected back in the same direction. They came back. That means that small sphere must be quite heavy. Must be some heavy thing present in the atom on which the alpha particles are hitting and coming back. Say if the cyclist is moving towards the truck, if he hits the truck, then he will come back in the same direction. Okay, something like ball example which I had given you. So these were the three observations, these are the three major conclusions. Now we will on this basis, actually he has also given the Rutherford's model of atom. Okay, we will come to that. You can note down this till then. See, now on the basis of the alpha ray scattering experiments conclusions, Rutherford proposed his model that was named as Rutherford's model of atom. Now what were the major points? What all he observed, he has jotted down in the form of the points. Number 1, most of the space in the atom is hollow, which is empty. We can say this is empty. Most of the space in the atom is empty. How did he came to this conclusion? 99.9% of the alpha ray particles move undeviated. Number 2, small heavy positively charged bodies present in the atom, which he termed as nucleus. So the credit of discovery of the nucleus goes to Rutherford. Okay, there is a small positive charge present in the body. How did he conclude this? Few of the alpha ray particles, when they were hitting the gold foil, they got deviated at some angle. Okay, so he concluded there is some positive charge present in the center. Nucleus is very small, which carries a positive charge, and the entire mass of the atom is in the nucleus. He concluded this on the basis of the third observation, that very few of the alpha ray particles, they got deflected back in the same direction. That is why we said, no, there is some heavy mass. Actually, the size of the nucleus is very, very small. If you compare the size of the nucleus with the atom size is around 10 to the power minus 10 meter. And if you see, the nucleus size is of the order of 10 to the power minus 15. We can say the size of the nucleus is 1 by 1 lakh. So, or in other words, we can say atom is 1 lakh times the size of the nucleus. It's very, very small. The nucleus as compared to the atom is very small. That is why they said the nucleus is very small and the heavy mass is there. That is why very few of them got deflected in the same direction. So this is, the first three are mainly from that particular alpha ray experiment. Next, electrons are distributed in the space around. This was the he said, because atom is stable according to Rutherford. So where are the electrons when the positive thing is there in the center? He said the electrons are distributed in the space around. Actually, he proposed the structure like this. This was the nucleus, and he said the electron is present. Actually, in most of the books you will find this is given, electron is distributed in the space around. But Rutherford also said that these electrons are in circular motion. They are in circular motion around the nucleus. They are moving. How we came to this conclusion? If you just apply what you learn in physics, this is electron according to whatever we have studied till here. Electron is there around the nucleus. Nucleus is positive charge. Electron is there. That means the both should attract, and the electrons should just get attracted towards the positive, and atom should not be stable. But he said that it is stable to some extent, because he could describe this way, that electron is moving in the circular motion. It is not stationary. Because when any particle is moving, its velocity is changing. Velocity is changing means there is acceleration. If acceleration is there, there is some force which is pulling it towards itself, that is centripetal force. Okay, so because of that centripetal force, electron is able to revolve around the nucleus. Though this point also became the cause of the failure later on. Okay, but till here we will put like this: electrons are moving in a circular motion. Why did he say that they are in the circular motion? Because if only electron is there, it will be attracted towards the nucleus and the atom should collapse. But it doesn't collapse, it is very much stable. Then how it is stable? Rutherford described that electron, when it is moving around, when it is in the circular motion, it is having centripetal force. Something like if you hold a piece of thread and tie a stone, and then you go on moving like this, you will be able to move that stone piece. What is holding it? Actually, the stone doesn't come and hit you or hit your hand. It is still in the state of motion, because there is some force acting on it, that is centripetal force, plus it is moving also. Now, there was some some limitations of this particular theory. That is why new models were given. The two major limitations. Number one, instability of the atom. Earlier we said it is stable. Now we are saying it is not stable. According to one particular theory it was stable, but now according to another theory which was proposed by Maxwell. Maxwell's theory, was studying electromagnetic radiations. It says that when any charged particle is moving, it should lose energy. It should lose energy. When it is losing energy, this electron should collapse. It should go back in that, it should be attracted, it should lose all the energy of moving. When it is just present here, means there will be electrostatic force of attraction between the two, and the atom should collapse, it should not be stable. So for many years Rutherford's model was accepted till Maxwell's theory was given. After this was given, it was not considered to be correct theory. Another one, it could not explain the line spectrum. This, children, we will be discussing later. Line spectrum of atom it could not explain. As of now, you can just mention these two are the major limitations of Rutherford's model of atom. Please note down this.